One of the most beautiful and equally terrifying things to me is being the father of two daughters in this 21st century, watching them both play and build sandcastles peacefully with their mother by the Atlantic Ocean. And one of the most One of the most beautiful and equally terrifying things to me is being the father of two daughters in this 21st century, watching them both play and build sandcastles peacefully with their mother by the Atlantic Ocean. And as much as I love to see how much both of my daughters love, I want to give everybody that passes us by an affectionate smile and a hug. It's always overshadowed by that dark cloud of reality of how I must readjust the naive nature and use of their trust. How I must be that unconditionally loving father that properly prepares them both for the eventual bad days and tomorrows that will eventually show up. With the many life users and abusers that endlessly hunt and follow us all through the valleys of the good people. Just like the individual shadows that none of us can ever completely get rid of is exactly why I must maximize their senses. Do everything I can so neither of them ever becomes another senseless victim that any killer, sexual predator, or senseless sinner across the globe can ever claim on their bucket list as being another successful accomplishment that they've helped become famous for being another sad story. Just like any of the ones described in any city, state, or country's most infamous or heinous cases taken on by their local First 48 or Special Victims Unit. So my goodness, I need them both to listen and not pretend to play clueless to most, if not all, of the good knowledge that I give them. Because I've already been warned and informed that whether it's one thing or 1 million, your children will eventually rebel against you on something. So I've been heavily advised to master the life skill and art of extreme meditating and patience, to keep my blood pressure from overloading on any of those days that either one of my daughters are ever crazy enough to ever rebel against me or their mother. You see, ladies and gentlemen, in St. Louis, I was raised old school, though it's extremely early. While their mother slowly but surely teaches and raises them both from a positive woman's perspective of how they can best excel and garner respect for themselves as future global leading women, I, as the father, must slowly but surely teach and raise them both from a positive male's perspective of how a family properly sticks together whether we are rich or broke. How if it's possible for any man, and it's possible for them both. You don't just settle for mediocre when others believe you won't. We are all human on this globe, so I'm protecting the hopes and keeping the little things available like the endless kisses and hugs, an ear or a shoulder for talking or leaning on. So a long, long time from right now, when I eventually get them both away to someone, it won't be a complete surprise when I expect them both to end up with a guy similar to the type of dude I become, one who is loyal, loving, and reliable. Because they'll know it to be a complete waste of time to end up ambitiously in love with the type of dude I used to be when I was no good, confused, and fucking unreliable. I just wish I could stay in that perfect place and that way of life, watching them all play and build sandcastles with their mother by the Atlantic Ocean forever. Instead of having to constantly worry if they both will forgive me wholeheartedly for having to get through those Atlantic situations that's swirling off of that Atlantic Ocean in all these different directions, all over the place, forever. It's on the contrary of the popular belief. I'm not struggling with having ADD or from being bipolar. I'm a man doing the very best he can to prepare for all those unavoidable life storms that I can't outrun or hide my wife and daughters from forever. The one thing's for sure, in those unavoidable storms that I can't outrun, show up looking for my wife and daughters, they will find me waiting as the last line of defense, admittedly scared to death, but undeniably ready. St. Louis, I love you. Thank you. Give it up for y'all hosts, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's like myself and I have my own show. Give it up for your hosts to make it back to the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, pleasure.